tracks today.
Yeah. I need them bands, run it up fast, stuffing them shits in the safe. Got me a spot out the way, nigga just tryna be safe. Leaving the house with the glizzy, nigga.
Let's get to the sports talk.
Team around a superstar. The Hoop Collective crew debated the topic and redrafted the league's best players based on a 4-year max contract. Here you see it. The top 5 is Giannis, followed by Luka, Kawhi, Harden, and AD. Are you seeing number 12 and 13, Stephen and Max? Kevin Durant, LeBron, all the way down. Max Kellerman. Should they be a little higher?
They should be lower on the list. In fact,
wow.
It is ridiculous.
Really? I thought we were going to...
What is you talking about? Them are arguably the best 2 small forwards of all times. Both could do multiple positions. Both could play all 5 actually. From point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. 2 of them. Name some players that could do that. Durant's a damn center playing small forward. LeBron could play center, power forward. All of them could play all them positions. Heck yeah, I started teaming with them too. You got one of the best shooters of all time. One of the smart general players in LeBron could get you open anytime, get to the rim anytime. Durant could just shoot over you. Man, I would start a team. They should be higher than that around them. You talking about we lower? What is you talking about?
Come today.
It is ridiculous to put KD or LeBron on this list at all. They don't belong on the list.
Stephen A.
You start a franchise. You realize LeBron turned 112 years old this year? You want a 112-year-old?
Let's pause for 1 second. Before you go
Such
further.
an ageist.
Before you go further. Let's take an argument other than age.
You can't. It's starting a franchise.
Because no. What I'm saying is that a lot of times when we're talking basketball and other people are talking basketball, you're looking at the skill set because it's a given. If somebody's 35 years of age and you only got about 3 years left, it's a given. Like, for example, who wouldn't take the Greek freak over LeBron?
Right.
I'm saying if you want to start based on their age.
Well, I'm saying you have to start based on a variety of issues.
I'm saying to you, kid, because there's no argument about age. I'm not going to pick somebody that's about to walk out the league.
That's my problem with the list.
That's it. I'm looking at skills.
That's for listen. If you're talking about skills, then LeBron is either 1 or 2 right now.
Okay.
But we're not talking about who do I want for this upcoming season.
Okay.
We're saying to start a franchise based on a 4-year max deal. Now KD is considerably younger. If KD wasn't hurt, he'd be high on the list. He is coming off an Achilles. You understand? Like, I get that Tom Brady just won back-to-back Super Bowls since I made my Cliff prediction, although clearly he wasn't the same player this year.
Right.
Nevertheless, that makes him a giant exception. Kevin Durant is trying to do something that has almost never been done before. Even Dominique Wilkins wasn't quite the same. So KD doesn't have to be exactly the same to still be an all-star player. But at 30 years old, he likely won't play at all this year. Then he'll play the following year and probably won't be back to being whatever he can be, which is probably only going to be, if he's lucky, 80% of what he once was, until the following season. So why would I start a franchise with a guy who's only going to give me elite, you hope, production 3 years from now, 2 years from now? LeBron, no. KD, no.
Yeah, KD is athletic. But one thing you cannot say is he can shoot the basketball. That's why too much you ain't got to worry about affecting him. He can still shoot. Still can score a lot of points. Why do you have to go to the rim? Shoot right over you. You don't even have to worry about it. He can come back and still be the same. Still can shoot the basketball. Still can help out his team. What can you say? He got a great jump shot that can help him out when he come off this injury.
Okay, first of all, I disagree. But I'm not going to get into the age thing. And the reason why I say that is because the folks try to manipulate these things. I'm not accusing Max of doing that, but I can't stand when they do that because the reason why the guys are on the list to begin with is because of their skill set. And a lot of times we're debating basketball skills. Where you are now as a basketball skilled player, I'm not talking age, I'm just talking talent. Talent-wise, LeBron James, for anybody to have LeBron James outside of the top 5, they need to be drug tested immediately. It makes no sense. KD out of the top 5, same principle.
Even with the Achilles.
It don't matter to me. I'm telling you right now, here's the deal. Dominique Wilkins, I'm tired of that comparison. Dominique Wilkins was the human highlight reel. He could jump out of the moon. Kevin Durant could damn near dunk standing up and tippy-toe it. He's 6'11" with a 7'6" wingspan for crying out loud, okay?
But Dominique was a success story.
Dominique was a success story, but I'm saying to you, but what made Dominique was the human highlight film that he was because he was a dunker. That is not Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is a sniper. Kevin Durant is a marksman extraordinaire. Kevin Durant is going to come back and mark my words. He is going to average 25 in his sleep. You can book it. And Klay Thompson's going to come back and remind you why he's one of the greatest shooters this game has ever seen too. Remember I said that. LeBron James, 6'9", 260, but the basketball savant that he is, what he brings to the table in terms of his intellect, not just his skill.
Just said that. He's a smart player. He's a floor general who will score at any time. He like a Magic Johnson in this generation because he could get players open. The shoot, he make you better around him. He gets you open all the time. Kevin Durant don't have to worry about too much. He can shoot right over you. You ain't taking nothing away from his jump shot. LeBron's one of the smartest players. KD's one of the best shooters of all time. LeBron, 4th on the scoring list. He almost at the top. Ain't nobody don't see him as a scorer. All you see him as a passer. That's how good he is. He can get to the rim at any time. KD can shoot over you at any time. Forget all about their ages. They still at a high level in their age. At 30, in their 30s. Come on, man.
But to have the mass and the girth to go with it, plus the acumen, the ability to teach the game and play it while he's on the court with you, says something. When you talk about building a franchise, you're talking about formulating pieces around a particular individual to make things work. LeBron James could do that in his sleep.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
That's how I view it.
Fine.
I think easily top 5, both of them. And LeBron's number 1 to me.
But Stephen A., that's really not the question here. If I'm asking you if you want to build a franchise, so you should take age into consideration. Although here's an argument for LeBron or KD. You could say something like, I don't care how old they are. Over the next several seasons, I think LeBron is worth more than a guy who may or may not ever be that good 5 years from now. I could buy that argument. But I'm talking about culture setter. Like you want a Damian Lillard on your team, right? I'm talking about age, injury history, the position they play, the value they now have, the value they'll have projected over the next 4 years. Who would you start a franchise with?
Because, all right, there's several guys that I would start a franchise with. For example, I think Russell Westbrook should be on this list. You know why? Because he's an assassin. This dude he's a killer.
You want to start a franchise with a guy who's in athletic decline?
No. Again, I'm not talking about him now. I'm saying to his skill set and what he's brought to the table for his career, I'm looking for somebody like that. That's how I think about it. Of course, I'm looking at a guy's age and health issues. I'm saying, all right, that's different. But when you talk about a list in terms of building a franchise, these guys will get away. And if you caught them at the NBA games, what they would tell you is, I'm looking at the cat's skill set. And from a skill set perspective, what you bring to the table, those guys matter. I saw the Greek Freak. Love the Greek Freak. Greek Freak's got a bright future ahead of him or whatever. I saw him neutralize in those last 4 games against Toronto. That kind of stuff matters. I saw them back off of him and dare him to shoot a jump shot.
And you can start a team with Giannis. But Giannis still have a lot of growing to do. Even though he won MVP, don't be wrong, he deserved it because he had a good year. He still have to learn how to shoot because they gonna back off of him and clog that lane up. What he gonna do after that? But I still start a franchise with him. Don't get me wrong about that. But he just still have a lot growing to do. He only 24. He's still young. But he had to learn still. Only thing he had to learn, shoot. Shoot the basketball. That's the only thing he had to learn, man.
Expansion team. Stephen A. Smith wins the expansion team. He owns the expansion team. You're not going to be good necessarily right now, but you're building a franchise.
That's a different category.
Who are you taking?
I would tell you Anthony Davis.
Number one?
Probably number one.
What about the freak for Zion?
Zion?
Yeah.
Well, see, that's I'm thinking
Pull
about
up the list. I want to see the list again while we have
Zion's
the hoop
ticket
collector.
sale.
That counts too.
I'm just saying Zion's ticket sale.
If that's
why I'm
important to
gonna
you,
put him
that
on the
counts
list.
too.
But I would tell you-
Here's the list if you need to have some more names or what you disagree with.
Listen, here's my point.
Yeah.
Steph Curry has to be considered in my top 5 because he's the greatest shooter we've ever seen.
Okay.
And in a game today where I mean, you could literally get called for foul for passing gas for crying out loud. I mean, Steph Curry, the marksman that he is, I can't ignore that. Kawhi Leonard on both ends of the floor, we see what he does. I understand it. James Harden, unstoppable, one-on-one. But I don't know if I would have him in the top 5 because James Harden is great for James Harden. But the pieces around you, a lot of times you're going to be standing around. I don't know if that's good. Luka Doncic, to me, the only reason he's on that list is because he's from Europe. I'm not saying he can't play. He can play, but he don't belong on that list. He doesn't belong on that list. The Greek Freak clearly does. Anthony Davis clearly does. I'm looking at guys like that.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights,